out that I tried to tell our team more than anything was the best thing we can do to honor Brooks not being out there is play as hard as he does. And I thought we did that tonight. So give Wisconsin credit. They're a heck of a team. I thought we battled and defended them as good as you could defend them for a long stretch of the game. They're very potent offensively. They have multiple guys that can shoot and score and make plays, and there's a reason why they're ranked in the top 25 and have the wins they do, and because they have a really good team and they have older veteran guys. Like a night like tonight, when a guy like Crowell doesn't have it going or Blackwell doesn't really have it going, you get Carter Gilmore coming off the bench and getting 15 and 7. You got Nolan Winter stepping up and making a couple big threes. Obviously Tanjay, he's one of the better players in our league. I mean, he's been phenomenal all year long, and thought he made some tough ones. We tried to make it hard on him, and I mean, holding them to 25 points was huge in the first half, and we just couldn't sustain it in the second. I thought we ran out of gas a little bit, obviously, but thought the crowd was great, thought the energy was great. We fought, and I can't fault our guys' effort for that. We had a couple kind of in and outs, couple shots that might have been different there. I mean, even at the end, Jalen, I think it was a 6-point game, and he had the 3 go in and out with a minute to go. That one goes in. All of a sudden, it's a one-possession game. Who knows with a minute? So we got to keep plugging along. There's going to be no quit in this team. You guys know that. There's going to be no quit in this team. We got to keep helping some of the younger guys now that are thrust into more minutes and bigger opportunity. We got to help them get better and help them be able to contribute. But I thought, you look at those top 4 on the stat sheet. I thought, Nick, Matt, Jalen, and Ty, as veteran guys, I thought they really set the tone. And I thought the other guys, Justin, I thought everyone played really hard and competed. We're going to have to find a way to get some more production where it's not just 3 or 4 guys scoring, because teams are too good in this league. Coaches are too good. So anyway, tough loss. And just a tough couple days for us, but we're a resilient bunch, and we're gonna be ready to go on Tuesday night.
Do you have an update on Brooks' status?
Yeah, I do actually. Brooks, I mean, if you guys knew what this year has been like for him, and it's he had worked so hard. I mean, his body never looked better in the summer. Guy was ripped. I mean, just jacked, and he was playing so well, and he suffered an injury in August right before we went to overseas, and that put him on the shelf for a while. And obviously he worked his tail off with that injury to get back, missed the whole summer, missed the rest of the fall, missed those first 4 games. Came back, and we were still managing it. We were still managing that injury a little bit, in terms of his workload, in terms of what we were doing in between games. And he was playing really darn well, and figuring it out and starting to feel better, and we kind of had a good rhythm going. And then he re-injured that same foot in the Michigan State game. And it was a different injury than the previous one from the summer. And it was basically an injury that, was going to cost him the rest of his season. And being only the way Brooks is, he begged me to play in the Maryland game. He just said, "Coach, I got to play in that Maryland game. I got to put the jersey on one more time." And we talked to the doctors, and they said that he wasn't going to risk any further damage, that if he wanted to try to gut it out, he could. And obviously that game went great. He played really well, and we won at the buzzer. And he and I met after that game, and we just kind of talked about, hey, like, I don't want there to be any regrets, and the way you played last night, it's probably going to be hard. It's going to be really difficult. I just want you to walk when the time is right. I want you to know that you've left everything out there. And so we kind of devised a plan from that Maryland game to just kind of take it game by game and see if we could. He couldn't practice at all. Like, he wasn't doing anything in between games, which is hard for a player with your rhythm, with your conditioning, with game plan stuff. But it was the only way. He played the Michigan game. He played the game at home against Indiana. We won, and he played great. And then the last 2 games, you guys kind of saw, like, he was laboring more and more. The Illinois game, he wasn't moving well. And then the Rutgers game, when I looked out there, not only was he not moving well, but I could see that it was just mentally killing him because he couldn't do the things that he wanted to do and be that warrior and be that player. And so, he and I got together over the last couple of days and had some real heart-to-hearts, and the decision was made to shut it down. And so he's not going to be with us the rest of the year. It's the right decision. But he left it all out there, and I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but I love that kid. And to not see him be able to get out there today just sucks. But we're going to play our butts off for him, and he's going to be better for it. He and I talked, and a lot of times in life, you find out the most about yourself when times are crappy. And he's going through that. He's had an unfair year. He had set everything up to have this be the best year yet, and to lead this program and to take us to new heights, and then to have the injuries just derail that. It's unfair, but it's part of life, and he's going to be stronger for it. And he'll be with us the rest of the year. He just won't be playing. And I know our guys are going to battle their tails off, to honor him. It's just been an emotional couple days because of what he means to me in this program.
Is the long-term prognosis good?
Yes. No, nothing. Yeah, no, he is going to require surgery. But he's got one of the best doctors, medical teams, and everyone feels it's going to be a full recovery, 3 to 4 months, which should put him on track to have a great professional career, which I know he will because he's got the will. He's going to figure it out. So that's the positive. It's not career ending. It's just season ending, and so he'll be back stronger than ever, and he'll use this, to be better from it.
Coach, how does not having Brooks affect your offense and the offensive sets that you run?
Well, he averages 18 or 19 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. It affects us, especially when you come into the year. What you do is you build your team around your best players. So, the emergence of Nick, a lot of what we've done is to try to build what we do around their skill sets and what they do. So we'll have to adjust a little bit. I thought we did a good job today. I thought, all things considered, to get to 70 points, 69 points, thought we moved the ball pretty well. We just, we made some shots. We got to find some offense from other guys. But it'll be a void. He was a playmaker for us. He had the ball. He made plays. He scored. He got to the glass. He got out in transition and made things happen. So it will definitely be an adjustment. And it was hard because the decision was just made yesterday. So for us, we didn't really have a whole lot of time to tinker too much. But I give our guys credit as we get to practice tomorrow and we get ready for this last 4 to 6 weeks of our season and these last 9 games. We'll tailor things to make sure that we're doing things to complement the guys we have out on the floor. And it's going to be a great opportunity, for some of these other guys. Like you saw tonight, Angelo gets 21 minutes, Justin gets 25 minutes. Keenan's emergence. It's really good to see. I feel like Jalen Leach keeps getting better and better. With each game, his confidence is really high. His decision making, he gets 7 assists, no turnovers today. Nick is adjusting to being the number 1 guy. And this is great growth for him. For the rest of this year, and as we embark into his senior year to kind of be that guy and understand that teams are trying to take him away, and what can we do to get him in the right areas and him to get the right shots to still be really effective. So of course it's a huge void. Brooks is a first team all Big Ten player. He was. I saw Jacob put out stats that, he was doing things that only Larry Bird and Ron Harper. And so to say that that's not going to hurt us, come on now. I mean, he's a great player, and he was our leader. We fed off. I call him like a gladiator. He's like a gladiator. And we fed off that nature. It made everybody feel strong playing with Brooks. So we just got to honor that. Like I told the guys, he's still here. He's still on that bench. His voice, he's not going to be out on the floor with us, but we have to play as hard as he played, and that's what he would want us to do, and that's what we need to do.
How have you seen the team when that announcement kind of came out, the rest of the guys? How have you seen them rally around that and kind of just take the result like you said?
Yeah, yesterday was heavy, guys. Yesterday was heavy. I mean, that's kind of when the decision, we talked, Brooks and I talked after the day after the Rutgers game, and I kind of laid out my thoughts and kind of what I saw. And this whole time, man, I've been trying to talk to him like as if he was my own son. And I'm not his dad. He's got a great dad and he's got great parents. But I've tried to advise him as not his coach, but as what I would say if my own son was going through it. And, we just talked about how he was feeling, not only the physical pain of it, but the mental toll it was taking on him. I wanted him to think through, what he thought, and I wanted him to own, like, this is his career. It says I'm not going to tell him, hey, you're not playing, or hey, you should play. I'm going to lay it out to what I think. These are the pathways if we want to try to keep playing, or is it enough? And my main thing with him the whole time was like, when it is over, let's know that we emptied the tank, and we did. Like there's no regrets. He gave it all to this program, and so. Yesterday, he spoke to the team. I wanted him to be the one, and as you can imagine, it was incredibly emotional, they're brothers. So it was a very emotional meeting before our practice. And it's just been a heavy 36 hours for our team. So for us to come out and play the way we did shows a lot about the kind of guys we have. And I'm not surprised, though, because I do know, I was worried about it, but I'm not surprised we fought like that, because that's the kind of brotherhood this place has and what we've created here with the bonds that they have as friends. But they're heartbroken. They're heartbroken for him because he's a baller. He wants to play, and his body just won't let him do it, and it just sucks.
A couple more questions, Matt.
I saw he kind of, even though he's on the sideline with the coaches, he joined the players for a few pre-game huddles or in timeouts.
Yeah.
What was his voice like on the bench today, and what do you think it'll be like going forward?
Yeah, I talked to him about being kind of like another coach now. He's a really smart player. He's grown up with the game. He sees things, like, even though he's not going to be out there, Matt, like, we need his voice. And I talk especially with like Nick and Todd, some of these guys. I think he can really be helpful to Nick, because Nick now is the guy. And so, Brooks and they're best friends. They live together. If any of you guys have seen, I call them the Hanson brothers from the old Slapshot movie, because they're just like all over the place and wackos, but they're like two kindred spirits. So I really talked to Brooks about helping all the players, the young guys, but also being there for Nick as we navigate this next stretch of our season. So he's going to have a big voice. He's going to have, and obviously we're figuring out, we want to get him his surgery as soon as possible so we can get on the mend. So he might have to miss a couple days when he goes through that, but he's going to be with us, and he's always going to be with us. I mean, we're not where we are without that kid. And he's a special guy.
Last question, Ethan.
Coach, just as you reflect on coaching Brooks Barnheiser for his whole career, what are some of the words, memories that come to mind that you'll think of this season and long after?
Gonna get me crying again, man. So you're good at your job. I talked about it all the time. I just loved watching him play, because he was so wrapped up into competing. He just battled, and he made mistakes. No one's a perfect player, but I mean, he'd run through the wall for you, and he'd run through the wall for a teammate. I mean, he busted, remember the fall? He busts up his nose in the Indiana game, and he tries to take a charge in practice in a nothing drill, and he gets his two front teeth knocked out by a manager. And just because that's just how he plays. And, he's going to leave. I mean, obviously he had his moment, the layup against Florida Atlantic, at the end of the game to send it into overtime, and just some of the big wins, playing great in some of the big games, Illinois at home last year, Illinois at home this year, the Purdue wins over the last couple of years. He was right there in the middle of all of it. And so, the thing I'll take more is just the relationship piece. I love coaching, and I'm a competitor and I'm fiery and I want to win. But one of the things why I've loved being in college basketball is the relationship piece, where you can watch these guys grow up and try to be a mentor for them. So when they get out of here, they can go on and be husbands and dads and be set up for a great life. And so the relationship piece it's what's going to be the most special. The one-on-one meetings, the good times, the bad times, just having them here. It's crazy, and then I'll leave. But I was thinking today, man, it was the day he visited was when he was in high school. The day he visited was the day Kobe Bryant was killed. And we had a home game against Ohio State that night. And I was really struggling because I had known Kobe really well from my USA basketball experience. Our dads had been teammates with the 76ers, and it just hit me hard, similar age. And I was still trying to do a recruiting visit. Brooks was there with his parents, and we had a game coming up, and that's kind of how our relationship and our journey started, And I remember when we went home after that, he made this and I still have it in my office. It's pretty special. He went home and he drew this picture of Kobe's uniform, Laker uniform, and he framed it and he sent it to me. And he just said, when I saw your passion and how much you cared, and that was when I knew I wanted to play for you. And so I thought about that this morning. And I'm sorry, but I just hate it for that kid, what he's going through. And I wish I could take on the broken foot so he could play 10 more games. I really wish I could, but it's not how life works. It's not always fair. And he's going to be better. We talked about it. He's going to come out on the other side, and he's got a lot of big moments in basketball ahead, and we're going to be there with him. So that's the positive about all this. So sorry for the emotion. It's been a tough day. And I'm proud of my team, and I know we're going to keep fighting. I promise you guys that.
Thank you, Coach. We have Jalen, Leach, Matt Nicholson here. If there were any questions for these two. Matt?
Matt, you've been teammates with Brooks, since he came to Northwestern. What was it, when he and Coach announced the team that he'd be out for the season? What was that like?
Yeah, it was real emotional. I mean, I've been with him his whole time here. His first year, my second year, we both didn't play much, and we kind of just bonded over that. And he gave a big speech yesterday, telling everyone how much they mean, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, he's done so much for this program that we just got to honor him in any way that we can, because he means a lot to everybody on the team, and especially me. I mean, he's been a part of the 2 tournament teams. So he just really means a lot to all of us. And, I mean, it's unfortunate how things happen, but you also got to look at next step for him and what's going to come. So we all understand the situation and the decision that he's made and Coach has made and everybody's made, but we just got to accept it.
What were for either of you, what were some of the conversations like going into this game knowing you'd be without Brooks, and how do you think that played out today?
I mean, yeah, we just wanted to play for Brooks, to be honest. I mean, we knew, he's obviously, does a lot for us as a team, but also as a leader. So we knew we all had to step it up, on the defensive end, offensive end, everything. So we just kind of bonded together from that.
How proud of you were you of the effort today without Brooks to rally around each other and play a competitive game, maybe get over the line in the end?
Yeah, I loved our effort, to be honest, especially in the first half. We were all diving on the floor, having fun. I feel like this is one of the games where we had a lot of fun together. The freshmen played well, especially. So I feel like, obviously the stuff with Brooks, we bonded really well from that. And we played aggressive, and, that's why we started the game pretty well.
You guys forced 9 turnovers in the first half. What did you see from your defense during those opening 20 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it I feel like was channeled from what we were doing for Brooks. I mean, he's a huge defensive player for us, and we had, I think, 5 kills, so 3 consecutive stops, and a lot of it was from those turnovers. Obviously, we got to keep that going in the second half, but I was very pleased to see how we were playing in the first half in our defense. So, like, it shows that we're capable of doing it. So, we'll see.
Matt, I mean, you obviously go way back with Brooks, but to see Angelo, to see KJ, guys making the first plays to dive on the floor to make those hustle plays that Brooks made, what was that like seeing those players do that, those young guys do that?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. That's what I used to do. That's the only way I got on the court. So, I mean, seeing them do that, I mean, it makes my heart warm. But that's what we need. We need that kind of energy. We need that kind of effort every play throughout the game. I mean, every possession, like, it can come down to one possession, like our Indiana game happened. Like, it can come down to that last shot, and diving on that floor one time can win the game. So it really means a lot, and I want them to keep doing it.
During the game, normally the starting 5 kind of huddles up before taking the court. Brooks joined that group. What was the message between you guys there?
It's kind of just, we got to handle business. We always got to go out there in the first 4 minutes and win it, score more points than them, and that's what we did. We got out on an 8-0 run or whatever it was, and we made them call it first time out, which is always a huge thing. Have them use that one time out in the first half before the media. It always is a good sign, but it was kind of just like go out there and play. Like, you have nothing to lose. You got just go play free, go have fun. So.
Jalen, Coach mentioned he thinks that you're getting more and more comfortable game by game. What do you think is getting easier for you on the court?
I feel like the game's kind of slowing down for me. I've been watching a lot of film, so I'm kind of seeing like the mistakes that I made in the past and ways I can be aggressive, looking for my shot, looking for him on the rolls and stuff like that. So I just feel like the game's coming slower to me.
Any more questions?
Just looking forward, how much does your effort tonight give you faith that you might be able to salvage something from this season?
I mean, I tell it every day to the guys, like, we got to just bring our energy. Today, our effort, if we play like that, we'll win a lot of the rest of the games that we have this year. And you can't count us out yet. We got a lot of games ahead of us. So if we play how we did today, I'm confident that we'll be able to do something this year for the rest of these games.
All right, that wraps us up for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.